Good morning, welcome. My name is FeleciaMarie. This is True Moon Tarot, and welcome. Today we are going to be doing a reading for the collective sign of Aries. So if that is your sun, your moon, your rising, and or your Venus, please feel free to stick around. Remember that my readings are timeless. There is really no time frame that this is for. It is just any messages that you might need to hear at this current moment, Aries. So with majority of people with the collective that we're in right now, there's been a lot of emphasis on rebirth, a lot of emphasis on changing who you are, right? Changing your perceptions, finally stepping into this new version of yourself, the version that you've been working on, that you've been working very, very, very hard to manifest. I feel as if Aries at this current moment, you feel like you have not gotten anywhere, despite the fact that you are the Emperor card. That is what represents Aries, and it's really sad that that's like the only one I know besides the Sagittarius one or the Lovers one, or the Gemini one. So anyways, babbling. But Aries, the first three cards that we have right now are Temperance, Strength, and the Five of Cups. So for whatever reason, you feel like you maybe not necessarily that you haven't been putting in enough work, but you feel like the work that you're doing isn't proving or showing the right results for you. That's what you feel like. And unfortunately, that's not up for you to decide, right? Yes, we are the characters of our own story, and we are the proprietors of our life. But the fact of the matter is we don't know everything. We cannot control everything. The Lord works in mysterious ways, just like any other God-run religion. The gods work in mysterious ways, right? We we may not always see what is coming to us, or we may not always see what the reason for something happening is, but there is a reason. And you are being reminded to not only have patience, but to actually show strength, that your celebration, your union, your manifestations are coming soon. You've done the work right there. They want to reassure you that you don't need to worry about the things in the past. You don't need to worry about the things that you haven't let go of yet. For some of you, I'm hearing that you need to let go. Okay, so then we're just going to go with the cards that are at the bottom of the deck until I feel like we need to stop, because every time I move the card over to keep it here with our pile, there's a card on the bottom that just actually makes a lot of sense. So with the moon card, that speaks to, like your subconscious stuff. The unconscious part, or well, the conscious part of your brain that primarily works in your unconscious, right? So we have three areas of our brain. We have our conscious thought, which is the thought that I'm using, or which is the part of my brain that I'm using right now to talk to you. That is the conscious part of my brain. Then we have our subconscious part of our brain, which our subconscious part of our brain is what determines our sleep cycles. That's where I want to say that's where some of our dreams are. But when you get into REM sleep, now that's when you go into your unconscious brain. Your unconscious brain is something that is constantly always working, but you're not necessarily aware of it working, right? You're not necessarily aware of those thoughts. It's kind of like where your thoughts go to gather, right? Think of it like that. Think of it as like a little meeting place for your thoughts. While yes, it is still very essential to the thought process and the way that I interact with others, or the way that you interact with others, it's not always necessarily present, which means we can't always detect if there's something wrong there, or we can't always detect when something might be a little off, right? And so I feel like this particular moment, this is something where it's like there's something that you feel like you've gotten over, or you feel like you've accomplished, that you've let go of, but for whatever reason you're still letting little bits and pieces of it drag you down. And that's probably because there's still some underlying trauma that you haven't healed, that is rooted in that. Does that make sense? That is rooted in your subconscious thought, right? Or your unconscious thought. It is rooted in something from your past that you have yet to kind of completely heal, if that makes sense. So that's three out of 5 major arcana cards, which is not a bad thing. That does, especially with the cards that we have, the moon, strength, and temperance, I feel like those in particular is it's asking you to maintain your patience and maintain your focus. There are things that go bump in the night, right? There are things that we're not necessarily able to explain, but your guides want you to know that, like, these things are okay, right? It's not like it's not like it's detrimental to you. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? I don't know if I'm making any sense. What? Show me more about this. Yeah, so your your spilled milk, so to speak, is revolving something around a familial matter. Maybe there's some still some fears of abandonment going on, or fears about like what your future will be like with your children. Maybe there's some sibling rivalry going on, or even just the lack of a relationship, right, with a certain family member or the family members in general. There's a lack of a lack of understanding, maybe. I do feel like it's not like what majority people think of when they think of familial issues, right? Majority of people think of like a black sheep in the family, or like extreme financial issues. No, I don't think it's anything like that. I think it's more of like you and your family are close to an extent, but there's still that distance that is kept. There is still that I don't want to say that because it sounds bad, but there's still that aspect of you feel like a tool. You feel like you're only maybe not necessarily just you, it could be other members of your family, but the way that it is, or the way that it seems, is that you guys are tools for the family to use to get what the family wants, so to speak, if that makes sense. Why do we have the Alpha Tour? Okay, we see this card again. That's the Ten of Cups. So clearly there is abundance. Your guides and spirit want you to know that there is something that's coming towards you. There is good luck. There is fortune. I'm hearing gratitude. So remember to be thankful. The best way to show your guides that you are listening to them is to show them the things that you're thankful for, to show them the things that matter to you in the form of what is around you, right? Like little tiny things to be thankful for. Excuse me. So the last four cards that we have right now, the last four cards that we have, because I was about to end it, but I was like, let me look at the bottom of the deck. The last four cards that we have are the Three of Hearts. I'm sorry, the Three of Hearts. The Three of Swords. The two, the High Priestess card, which is the number 2. Ace of Cups and the Nine of Swords. So what I'm seeing here is that you are ready. You are ready to experience this new chapter in your life, but your doubts, your thoughts, your fears, even some third-party emotions, right? Not necessarily like an affair type third party, but it's more of like a learned and perceived reaction is what it is. It's that energy for you where you and this person, right? You and this person know each other, you have a relationship, you guys are friends, whatever, right? But that third energy is where you second guess yourself, you doubt yourself. So there's already this energy here, right? The two of you have your own separate energies that you are using to combine together to create this tie that you have, right? There's this tie between you two. Your thoughts, your doubts, your fears, your lack of commitment, your lack of focus, things about yourself that you choose to hide, some of those things are creating the doubts and fears in your mind. You're allowing them to slowly seep into this relationship, into this cord, into this area that is supposed to be sacred between you and whatever person. So that is creating a third party energy, which means they can pick up on that, they can add to that, right? Or that gives the opportunity for something else to come in, right? The reason and your doubts, your fears, you feeling like you're alone, not listening to the options that are available to you, not listening to your guides, not following the signs around, that type of mentality and that type of thought process is in the long run what's going to harm you, or not necessarily harm you, but what's going to keep you from fully reaching your potential, right? And then, like I said, we had the High Priestess card and the Ace of Cups card. So you are at this point in your life when really your conscious mind, your soul, is ready to be enlightened, is ready to move to the next phase, is ready to start this new life, this new chapter, this new moment in your soul's time. It's ready. But your conscious thought, your 3D self, your awakened self that's here, that's on this earth, is fearful, is scared, is relying on codependent relationships in order to travel through life. And that's something about yourself that needs to be changed. And that's something that you have been working on, even if you don't realize it. Slowly over time, you've slowly probably become more and more independent. You've probably become more of a loner, right? You probably don't have very many friends anymore. People have left you that no longer serve your purpose, that no longer match your frequency. And that is a good thing. Do not think of that as a bad thing, Aries. That is a wonderful, amazing thing. And I say this because we have the Ten of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck as our ending card, okay? That is the card of celebration, the card of abundance. I feel like I need to read something from that part of the book, so we're going to go ahead and just grab it, and we're going to read it. The Ten of Pentacles denotes a time of security and protection. The crows worked hard, paid their dues, and now are rewarded with a comfortable place to roost with plenty of room and food. The Ten of Pentacles brings assurance that your hard work and optimism can create a stable, secure future, one that serves as a foundation that builds your dreams. And that is very true, and that is what is coming to you, right? You have worked on yourself. You have picked up the things that you knew you could take with you, right? You've worked on things. It may have seemed like it was harder than you could chew or bigger than you could handle, but you managed to handle it. So, anyways, guys, Aries, I hope that makes sense. I hope you, and because you chose to handle that, because you chose to figure out what you could handle, what you wanted in life, you worked towards something. We now have another ace, the Ace of Wands, right? The beginning of a new manifestation chapter, the beginning of this new enlightened version of yourself, and this new metamorphosed, beautiful butterfly, angel, crystalline being that you will become in the future. This is something that you've taken what you've been given here on this world in this 3D life, and you've transformed it into something that is beneficial to your soul, and something that is beneficial to your ancestors, right? And I say that because we have the Ace of Cups along with the Ace of Wands. It's not just one. It is the beginning of, see how it flows with water. It's flowing. It's refreshing. It's the life, right? It produces the dreaming and the sustenance of it, right? The dreaming and the action of doing said thing, right? Even though technically cups really isn't an action, it's more, think of it as like the water of life, right? Like you're watering your seeds. Anyways, I'm babbling and I'm getting distracted. We're gonna go ahead and move on to probably Leo. So if you are a Leo, Sun, Moon, or Rising, please feel free to watch that video. As always, Aries, thank you so much for watching. I love you guys. I hope you have a wonderful week. If you have any questions, please feel free to comment. Please feel free to email me. Yeah, bye. Love you guys.